look forward to
10 out of 10, baby.
The next couple. We got a nighttime.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, nighttime with the Cowboys picking up that 73. I think that's going to open up this board for them. I know I've said this a little bit earlier. The areas that I think they can go, and this is in no particular order. Just keeping in mind these are the positions I think. I think the linebackers in play tonight. I think the running backs in play tonight. Interior offensive linemen in play tonight. And that doesn't have to be necessarily a center. That could be a guard. And then also a wide receiver could be in play tonight as well, with an edge being the fifth one. So in some form or fashion, you got 3 picks. And I think that you'll probably see one of these selections out of each one of these positions as we go forward tonight.
Well, bravo last night getting that extra pick, man. I'm just ecstatic.
That was key. Like I say, with the players that were on the board, I had Guyton over Barton myself. I know in the room I was alone on that one, but that's okay. But I would have been happy with Graham Barton. And I know talking to the people at Tampa Bay behind Dallas, they were like, wow, their board or their mood in their room switched when Dallas made the trade. So, you help Tampa, great, but you also, like you say, you pick up that 73, and that's going to be key.
And you got a good player.
Yeah,
a lot of depth this year.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, I'm just going to kind of go through. And Zach, if you'd like to chime in too on this, I'd love your input of like your best available players.
Yeah, give me yours, and if I have anybody else, I'll throw them out there.
Okay, I've rode with this one the whole time. I'm not going to change it. We know what my thoughts are about Jackson Powers Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say it what it is. It's about checking boxes. It's not only all about medical stuff. It's everything that you do when you bring a player in and you go through the process of evaluating the player. You get to learn about the player, and so that's where this is right now. They were, I thought maybe that they would look at him at 24. It did not happen. He's got some medical concerns that I talked to a team that cleared him. I did not talk to the Cowboys about whether he would be a red tag guy on that board if that was the case. But Jackson Powers Johnson, the center from Oregon, I have him on my board. He's the 17th. I had him as the 17th best player on that board. But I do not know if your Dallas Cowboys will take him, and he's been passed by several other teams along the way here. But he's a name that you do need to know that I have there. Peyton Wilson, the linebacker. Okay, here I mentioned linebackers, running backs, interior offensive linemen, wide receivers. Peyton Wilson, the linebacker from North Carolina State. I've compared this guy with some traits with what I saw with Luke Kuechly when he was coming out of Boston College. The problem again with this guy is the medical stuff. There's some knee problems, there's some shoulder problems. He has been clean though the last 2 years playing football for North Carolina State. But he's got these types of traits that you love in a linebacker. He's instinctive. His ability to run sideline to sidelines. He's good in coverage. He's a good run defender. He is capable of doing everything you want him to do. I don't know if Dallas would consider him at 56. I would like for them to consider him at 73 if they could, or at 87 if that's the case. I do not know if his medical is going to keep him from being a Dallas Cowboy, but I want to put his name out there as one of my best available players. He might be called here. I believe his name will be called sometime today. Hopefully it's by the Dallas Cowboys.
That would be amazing. I'm with you. He's right there as one of my best available, best linebacker for me in the draft. And I just wonder when, the medicals, when you start to say, okay, now the value's too good. Is it the third round? Is it maybe the fourth round where the Cowboys don't have a pick right now?
Keon Coleman, the wide receiver from Florida State. We talked about him yesterday. If you were listening to our broadcast, Zach was steering us along about wide receivers, and we were talking about guys that potentially could be first-round receivers. Keon Coleman from Florida State, very talented wide receiver. He's got tremendous size, ability to go get the ball. Love everything about his game. He was a punt returner at being at 6'4", for Florida State. I think he's got some dynamic traits to his game as well. He would be a guy that I would like to consider. I mentioned that, again, wide receiver, possibility for the Cowboys. Keon Coleman likely will go before the Cowboys pick today, I believe, at 56. Am I wrong about that though, Zach? But or you feel like that he could be there at 56 for them?
I don't think that he's going to make it there. But if he did, I mean, that's someone you've got to consider because that's tremendous value. I've got him as my 25th best player.
Cooper DeJean from Iowa, the corner. This guy got a lot of buzz because there's people that feel like that he could also play safety. I'd play this kid at corner. I think he's got the ball skills. I think he's got the ability to, when we talk about how guys carry routes and how smart guys are. When you're talking about Mike Zimmer type players, this guy fits the mold of about the ball skills and then also how his ability to play with some smarts. I think he moves really, really, really well for a guy. I think he could play on the press coverage side of it. He doesn't. It's a hard time running away from him. He's a physical player. He'll tackle. I see why people are thinking about him maybe as a safety.
I could see it too. I mean, normally I'm thinking no, I'm not playing a white corner. This would be an exception.
Okay, I like what you're doing there. All right, Jonathan Brooks now comes into the picture here for me. He's the 29th best player on my board. Okay, I'm going to be real honest here. I'm hearing two different things about this player. I'm hearing a lot of love when you talk to Nick Harris, who we work with on the draft show, who lives every day at Valley Ranch at the Star there in Frisco. He is telling me absolutely they love Jonathan Brooks. I mean, Jerry Jones last night. I don't know. Jerry might be trying to kind of divert you some other way, and maybe another guy come his way. I think that there's some times where Jerry says some things that are kind of like, wow, did he really do that? But he's also creating a diversion here. Jonathan Brooks, like I said, Bobby Belt and Nick Harris swear to me that the Dallas Cowboys absolutely love Jonathan Brooks. I had another guy.
They're high, right?
Yeah. I had another guy. I had another guy who I absolutely trust on sources say, Brian, don't connect the dots here. Don't connect the dots at 56 for Jonathan Brooks.
Man, be a hell of a smokescreen.
I don't know where to go here. This guy is a hell of a football player. He really, really is. And if he didn't have the knee injury, he could have gone late one. But he's going to go here in the second round, though, with somebody. I don't know if it's going to be for the Dallas Cowboys because, like I say, Bobby and Nick, trust them. Trust them with all their sources. My source I trust as well. I'm getting mixed messages on this particular player. Zach, any thoughts on that?
I do think they have an affinity for Jonathan Brooks. I think he's the consensus top running back. I know I've said I've got Benson as my top guy. I'd also think Jalen Wright, Bucky Irving from Oregon, Ray Davis from Kentucky.
They like names. Ray Davis a lot.
And I do as well. I mean, I think you could wait, and in that third round, maybe that last pick that you've got in the third, you can maybe get one of those backs if you don't get Brooks.
Okay, and the final guy I want to get to here would be Edrin Cooper, the linebacker from Texas A&M. I have him as my 31st best player on my board right now. Here's a guy that's 6'3", 230 pounds. He's kind of a guy that could play when you start to talk about those inside linebackers, but have the ability to rush the passer. Feel like he's a much better pass rusher and linebacker than he is, say, a cover guy. I don't know. I mean, I think you could teach him to be a cover guy, but I think his skills as a pass rusher makes a lot of sense for a team. He could be a very physical player. I think he tackles very well. He has a feel for how to beat blockers in the pocket and then get in on the quarterback. I don't know if he gets to you at your spot at 56, but if he does, I think that would be very inviting for this football team to hand that card in for Edrin Cooper, a linebacker, Texas A&M.
I agree.
You like the player a lot?
I'm totally down for Edrin Cooper. I've got him as the second best linebacker in the draft. You talk about ability to blitz, rush the passer as well, but the speed. It's a lot of fun to envision Cooper and Overshown as your two linebackers in the future.
Yeah, I do. I have a Peyton Wilson from North Carolina State ahead of him, but if the medicals do not shake out well for Peyton Wilson, and Cooper's there, that would be a very, very inviting player for me.
Yeah, I saw Jane Slater tweeting out earlier today, Edrin Cooper and Jonathan Brooks are the guys that she'll be watching with Dallas tonight.
Yeah,
right on. So those are the two
just
big
like
names.
I say, the thing with the running back there, it's just so many mixed messages.
Yeah, that's why I'm fired up to see what ends up happening here.
Yeah, I am too. I am too.
Like, how are they selling us on something? Is this an ultimate smokescreen? Like, this is going to be fun to see how they approach it. Because remember yesterday, Jane Slater's report was they have a fear that the Eagles are trying to trade ahead of them in the second round to get Brooks.
And the reports are, again, Eagles trying to be very aggressive to move up to the top of the second round.
Wow. It'll be an awesome evening of draft coverage. It resumes at 6 o'clock. You can listen to it on the Odyssey app. For years, Brian Broaddus has dominated the coverage, and for many of those, he's been with you right here on 105.3 The Fan. And,
he's a stud.
For Tolos everywhere, we thank you for it, Brian.
Yeah, thank you guys too.
The level of attention to detail on this it's special, and it's something that no other market gets. Nobody else in America gets this kind of draft coverage.